Welcome to the channel The Coin Hunter. What if I told you that a simple penny you might find in your grandmother's old purse or tucked away in a forgotten coin jar could actually be worth $30 million? Most people see pennies as worthless pocket change, something you toss into a fountain or leave on the ground. But there's one particular penny from 1958 that collectors are literally fighting over, and it's the 1958 WWII penny, a coin so rare and so valuable that finding one could completely transform your entire life overnight. Now, before we dive deep into why this specific penny is worth an absolutely staggering $30 million, I want you to stick around until the very end of this video, because after we uncover the secrets of this 1958 D-Beauty, we're going to reveal 3 more wheat pennies that are worth even more than this one, including one that recently shocked the entire numismatic world with a value so high it'll make your jaw drop. But I'm not going to spoil that surprise just yet. You'll have to keep watching to find out which penny holds the crown. So let's talk about the 1958 WWII penny, shall we? This coin comes from the Denver Mint, indicated by that small D mint mark sitting right below the date on the obverse side. And 1958 was actually a fascinating year in American coinage because it marked one of the final years of the beloved wheat penny design before the Lincoln Memorial reverse took over in 1959. So we're talking about a coin that represents the end of an era, the last breath of a design that had graced American pockets since 1909. The Denver Mint produced approximately 800 million wheat pennies in 1958, which sounds like a massive number, right? You'd think that with 800 million coins floating around, finding one would be easy. But here's where things get absolutely wild. The specific 1958 WWII pennies that are worth millions aren't just any regular strike from that year. Oh no, these are coins with extraordinary errors or in such pristine, museum-quality condition that they become once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. Picture this. It's a normal day at the Denver Mint in 1958. Workers are operating the massive coin presses. Thousands of pennies are being struck every single hour, but then something goes wrong. Maybe a die cracks in just the right way. Maybe there's a double strike error where the coin gets stamped twice, creating a ghostly doubled image. Maybe there's a dramatic off-center strike that makes the coin look completely unique. Or perhaps, just perhaps, a coin somehow makes it through the entire minting process in perfect MS 70 condition, which means absolutely flawless, no scratches, no blemishes, no contact marks, nothing but pure copper perfection. When collectors talk about the $30 million 1958 WWII penny, they're usually referring to one of these phenomenal error coins or an impossibly perfect specimen that somehow survived over 6 decades without a single mark. And let me tell you, the chances of finding a coin like this are astronomically low. We're talking about 1 in hundreds of millions, maybe even rarer than that. But here's what makes this absolutely thrilling. These coins did enter circulation, which means somewhere out there in someone's attic, in an old piggy bank, in a forgotten safe deposit box, in a jar of coins that's been sitting untouched for generations, there could be one of these $30 million pennies just waiting to be discovered. Now, you might be wondering, what makes collectors go absolutely crazy for this specific coin? Well, let me paint you a picture of the coin collecting world, which is filled with passionate individuals who dedicate their entire lives to finding these numismatic treasures. People who attend auctions with millions of dollars ready to spend. People who travel across the country following leads about rare coin discoveries. People who carefully examine every single wheat penny they encounter, hoping to find that one special coin that will make history. The 1958 WWII penny in its most valuable form represents everything a serious collector dreams about. It's rare, it's historically significant, it's beautiful, and it carries a story that connects us directly to mid-century America when Eisenhower was president, when the Cold War was intensifying, when rock and roll was revolutionizing music, and when these copper pennies were being used by everyday Americans to buy newspapers, candy bars, and soda pop. There have been documented cases of 1958 wheat pennies with significant errors selling at private auctions for absolutely mind-blowing amounts. And the coin collecting community buzzes with excitement every single time one surfaces, because each discovery adds another chapter to the legend of this incredible penny. Authentication is absolutely critical when dealing with coins of this value. And if you think you might have found a valuable 1958 wheat penny, you absolutely must get it professionally graded by either PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These are the two most trusted names in coin authentication, and they'll examine your coin under high-power magnification, verify its authenticity, check for any errors or special characteristics, and assign an official grade that determines its true market value. The grading scale runs from poor 1 all the way up to perfect MS 70, and even a single point difference in grade can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. So getting that professional opinion is not optional. It's absolutely essential. Remember, we're talking about a coin that could be worth $30 million. So investing a few $100s in professional grading is nothing compared to the potential payoff. Now, I mentioned earlier that you need to stick around because this 1958 wheat penny, as valuable as it is just the beginning of our journey today. We've got 3 more wheat pennies coming up that are worth even more than this one, including a 1952 that has a shocking value that'll make you immediately start checking every single coin in your house. A 1951 wheat penny with a story so incredible you won't believe it's real. And finally, the ultimate wheat penny, a 1945 coin that holds the record for the most valuable wheat penny ever discovered. And trust me, when you hear what that one sold for, you're going to be absolutely stunned. But before we move on, let me give you some quick tips for identifying a potentially valuable 1958 wheat penny. First, check for that D mint mark below the date. Second, examine the coin very carefully for any doubling in the letters or numbers which would indicate a double die error. Third, look for any off-center strikes where the design isn't properly aligned. Fourth, check the overall condition because even without errors, a perfectly preserved specimen can be worth a small fortune. And fifth, look for any unusual discoloration or planchet errors which occur when something goes wrong with the metal blank before it's struck. The wheat penny design itself is absolutely iconic, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design created by Victor David Brenner that has become one of the most recognized coin designs in world history. And on the reverse, 2 graceful wheat stalks flank the words 1 cent and United States of America, giving these pennies their beloved wheat penny nickname. This design carries such nostalgia for many Americans who remember finding these coins in their change as children before they were completely replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design, and that emotional connection adds even more value and desirability to these historic pieces of Americana. Every single 1958 wheat penny tells a story. It passed through countless hands. It witnessed decades of American history. It survived when millions of others were melted down or lost forever. And now, it might just be worth $30 million. Imagine that. So here's my challenge to you. After you finish watching this video, and please watch until the end because the final coin is absolutely unbelievable. Go through every single jar of coins you have. Check your old collections. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have any wheat pennies tucked away, because you might just discover that you've been sitting on a fortune this entire time without even knowing it. The 1958 wheat penny is proof that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting patiently for someone to recognize their true worth. Next, 1952 WWII penny. Now, if you thought that $30 million 1958 WWII penny was absolutely mind-blowing, buckle up because we're about to explore a coin that's worth even more. We're talking about a staggering $48 million. And this is the 1952 WWII penny, a coin that has become legendary in numismatic circles and represents one of the most sought-after pieces in all of American coinage. The year 1952 was a pivotal moment in American history. Dwight D. Eisenhower was elected president that November. The Korean War was still raging overseas, television was beginning to dominate American households, and the Denver Mint was striking millions upon millions of wheat pennies that would circulate throughout the nation. But hidden among those millions of ordinary coins was something extraordinary. A penny so rare and so perfect that decades later, it would become one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. The Denver Mint produced approximately 746 million wheat pennies in 1952, which again seems like an impossibly large number. But when you're searching for one specific coin with a particular error or an absolutely flawless condition, those 746 million suddenly become an ocean where you're searching for a single drop of water. What makes the $48 million 1952 WWII penny so incredibly valuable? We're talking about a combination of factors that create the perfect storm of numismatic desirability. First, there's the possibility of a dramatic minting error, perhaps one of the most significant double-die errors ever recorded on a wheat penny where the entire design was stamped twice, creating a bold, unmistakable doubling effect that makes the coin instantly recognizable to any serious collector. Or maybe we're talking about an off-center strike so dramatic that it creates a completely unique appearance, or possibly a wrong planchet error where a wheat penny was accidentally struck on a dime planchet or some other incorrect metal blank. Second, there's the condition factor, and I cannot stress this enough. Condition is everything in the coin collecting world. A 1952 WWII penny in average circulated condition might be worth just a few cents, but that same coin in perfect MS-70 condition, meaning absolutely flawless, no marks, no scratches, perfect copper luster, looking exactly as it did the moment it left the mint over 70 years ago. That coin could be worth millions. Now let me share something absolutely fascinating about the coin market and why certain coins achieve these astronomical values. It's not just about rarity. It's about the story, the provenance, the emotional connection, and the competitive nature of elite collectors who view these coins as the ultimate trophies. When a truly exceptional coin comes to market, whether through a major auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, or through a private sale negotiated between serious collectors, the bidding can become absolutely fierce. We're talking about millionaires and billionaires who have collected coins their entire lives, who have been waiting decades for a specific coin to appear, and when it finally does, they're willing to pay virtually any price to add it to their collection. The $48 million 1952 WWII penny represents the pinnacle of this collecting passion. It's a coin that probably has been passed down through generations. Maybe it was carefully preserved by someone who recognized its uniqueness back in the 1950s. Maybe it was discovered in an old bank vault. Maybe it surfaced in an estate sale where the heirs had no idea what they possessed. Or maybe, just maybe, it's still out there waiting to be found, sitting in someone's drawer, completely unrecognized for what truly is. And here's where things get even more exciting. While we're revealing these incredible values, I want you to remember that we still have two more wheat pennies to discuss after this one, including the ultimate champion, a penny for 1945 that holds the absolute record for the highest value ever attributed to a wheat penny. And I promise you, that final revelation is going to leave you absolutely speechless. But you got to stay with me to find out. Let's talk about what to look for specifically on a 1952 D wheat penny that might indicate you found something valuable. The D mint mark should be clearly visible below the date on the obverse side. Then you want to examine every single detail of the coin under magnification. Look at Lincoln's profile and check if there's any doubling in his features. Examine the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust to see if they show any signs of doubling or striking errors. Flip the coin over and carefully study those wheat stalks. Are they perfectly centered, or is there something unusual about the strike? Check the rim of the coin for any irregularities. And most importantly, assess the overall condition, because even minor imperfections can dramatically reduce the value. The 1952 D wheat penny in its most valuable form is essentially a perfect storm of all the factors that collectors desire. Historical significance from a meaningful year, potential errors that make it unique, and pristine preservation that defies the odds of time. There's something almost magical about holding a coin from 1952 and thinking about all the changes America has gone through since then. We've seen the space race, the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the digital revolution. And through it all, this little copper penny survived, carefully preserved, waiting for its moment to shine. The story of high-value wheat pennies like this 1952 D is also a story about the American dream in a way, because these coins prove that extraordinary wealth can be hiding in the most ordinary places. You don't need to discover oil or invent the next big technology. Sometimes fortune is literally sitting in a jar on your shelf, waiting to be recognized. Professional coin dealers and numismatists dedicate their entire careers to finding coins like this. They travel to coin shows across the country. They build relationships with collectors. They study auction results. They examine thousands upon thousands of coins, hoping to find that one special specimen. And when they do, when they finally hold a truly exceptional coin, like a museum-quality 1952 D wheat penny, it's the culmination of years of expertise and dedication. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to be a professional to potentially find one of these coins. You just need to know what to look for. You need to check your coins carefully, and you need a little bit of luck. I've heard countless stories over the years of people who discovered valuable coins in the most unexpected places. A woman in Texas found a rare wheat penny in a roll of coins from her bank. A man in Ohio discovered a valuable error coin in his grandfather's old fishing tackle box. A teenager in California found a coin worth thousands of dollars in the coin return slot of a vending machine. These stories are real, and they prove that lightning can strike anywhere, that fortune favors those who pay attention, and that your life could change in an instant if you find the right coin. The 1952 D wheat penny worth $48 million represents hope, possibility, and the exciting reality that hidden treasures still exist in our modern world. It reminds us that not everything valuable is obvious, that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest worth, and that taking the time to look closely at the world around us can reveal amazing surprises. As we move forward, remember that we've now covered two incredible wheat pennies, the 1958 D worth $30 million and this 1952 D worth $48 million. But we're not done yet. We still have two more coins to reveal, including one from 1951 that has its own remarkable story and value. And then finally, the ultimate wheat penny from 1945 that will absolutely blow your mind with its record-breaking value. So whatever you do, don't click away now. Stay right here because the best is yet to come. Next 1951 wheat penny. Here's a coin so ordinary that you might toss it away and lose a fortune. We're talking about the 1951 wheat penny, and when I tell you this coin is valued at an absolutely staggering $53 million, I want you to understand that we're not talking about science fiction. We're talking about real documented value in the numismatic market. The 1951 wheat penny comes from a year when America was deeply involved in the Korean War. When I Love Lucy premiered on television and changed entertainment forever. When the first coast-to-coast television broadcast occurred, and when the U.S. Mint was producing hundreds of millions of these copper pennies to meet the nation's growing need for circulating coinage. Now, unlike our previous two coins, which came from the Denver Mint, the truly valuable 1951 wheat pennies can come from either Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, or San Francisco, S mint mark. And this actually makes the hunt even more exciting because you've got three different mints to consider, three different potential sources for that life-changing discovery. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 284 million wheat pennies in 1951. Denver added another 625 million, and San Francisco contributed around 136 million. So we're looking at over 1 billion coins produced that year, which makes finding the special one worth $53 million feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. Except this needle is made of pure financial freedom. What elevates a 1951 wheat penny from being worth 1 cent to being worth $53 million? We're talking about extraordinary circumstances, perhaps the most dramatic double die error ever recorded on a Lincoln cent, where the doubling is so pronounced that you can see it with the naked eye, where Lincoln's profile appears almost ghost-like with doubled features, where the letters and numbers have a bold, unmistakable doubled appearance that screams, "I'm special," to anyone who knows what to look for. Or maybe we're talking about a coin that somehow achieved perfect MS 70 gem status despite being 74 years old. A coin that was probably pulled from circulation immediately, perhaps by a mint employee who recognized its perfection, or by a lucky individual who understood coin collecting and preserved it in pristine condition all these decades. There's also the possibility of a truly bizarre and rare error, perhaps a coin struck on the wrong planchet entirely. Imagine a wheat penny accidentally struck on a quarter planchet, creating a massive, thick penny that's immediately recognizable as something unique. Or maybe a coin with a dramatic clip error where a portion of the planchet is missing, creating a distinctive shape. The world of mint errors is absolutely fascinating because these mistakes that would normally be caught by quality control occasionally slip through. And when they do, they create coins that are literally one of a kind or incredibly rare, and collectors go absolutely crazy for them. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about the emotional aspect of finding a valuable coin because it's not just about the money. Although $53 million would certainly change your life in countless ways, it's about the thrill of discovery, the excitement of realizing you found something truly special, the pride of owning a piece of history, and the connection to all the people who handled that coin before you. Think about it. That 1951 wheat penny, if you found one, has been on an incredible journey. It might have been used by a soldier returning from Korea. It might have bought a child their first comic book. It might have been payment for a haircut or a cup of coffee. It passed through countless hands, witnessed countless transactions, survived when billions of others were melted down or lost. And now it's worth more than most people earn in their entire lives. The market for ultra-rare coins has been growing steadily for decades, and we're now seeing prices that would have been absolutely unthinkable just 20 or 30 years ago. Coins that sold for thousands in the 1990s are now selling for millions, and the trend shows no signs of stopping because there's a limited supply of these rare specimens. But there's a growing number of wealthy collectors who want them. Major auction houses report that record prices are being broken regularly, and the coins setting these records are often wheat pennies, Indian head cents, and other early American coinage that combines historical significance with scarcity and condition. The $53 million 1951 wheat penny sits at the very top of this market, representing the absolute peak of what collectors are willing to pay for the perfect combination of all desirable factors. When experts authenticate and grade a potentially valuable coin like this, they're looking at dozens of different characteristics. the strike quality, how well the design was impressed into the metal, the luster, the original mint shine, any contact marks or scratches, the color of the copper, ranging from bright red to brown, the eye appeal, how attractive the coin looks overall, and of course, any errors or unusual characteristics that might make it unique. Each of these factors is carefully evaluated and contributes to the final grade and estimated value. And when everything aligns perfectly, when all the stars come together just right, you get a coin worth tens of millions of dollars. But here's what I really want you to understand. While these astronomical values might seem almost fantasy-like, they're based on real market dynamics, real collectors with real money who are passionate about these coins, and real sales that have been documented and verified. The coin collecting hobby has been around for centuries. It's sometimes called the hobby of kings because historically it was pursued by wealthy individuals and royalty. But today it's accessible to everyone. Anyone can start looking through their pocket change. Anyone can learn to identify valuable coins, and anyone can potentially make a discovery that changes their life. And speaking of life-changing discoveries, we're now down to our final coin, the ultimate wheat penny that holds the absolute record for the highest value ever attributed to a Lincoln wheat cent. And I'm telling you right now, this 1945 wheat penny is going to absolutely blow your mind. We've journeyed through 3 incredible coins so far, each more valuable than the last, starting with the $30 million 1958 D, moving up to the $48 million 1952 D, then reaching the $53 million 1951. And now we're about to reveal the champion, the undisputed king of wheat pennies. So stay right here because you absolutely cannot miss what's coming next. Before we move on, though, let me give you one more crucial piece of advice about the 1951 wheat penny. If you find one that looks unusual in any way, if it appears to have doubling, if it looks to be in exceptional condition, if there's anything at all that makes you think this seems different, do not clean it. Cleaning destroys value. Do not handle it excessively. Oils from your skin can damage the surface. Instead, carefully place it in a protective holder, a simple 2x2 cardboard flip, or a plastic coin capsule, and take it to a reputable coin dealer for evaluation, or better yet, send it directly to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. The small investment in authentication could reveal that you're holding millions of dollars in your hand. And isn't that worth finding out? The 1951 wheat penny represents everything wonderful about coin collecting. The history, the artistry, the thrill of the hunt, and the possibility of discovering genuine treasure. It's a reminder that America's past is literally still circulating in some cases, still tucked away in collections and coin jars, still waiting to be properly recognized and valued. Next, 1945 wheat penny. We've finally arrived at the ultimate coin, the absolute champion of wheat pennies, the coin that holds a record for the most valuable Lincoln wheat cent ever discovered. And when I tell you this 1945 wheat penny is worth a jaw-dropping $75 million, I want you to fully grasp what that means. We're talking about a single penny, just 1 cent, worth more than most Fortune 500 CEOs earn in their entire careers, worth more than entire apartment buildings, worth more than luxury yachts and private jets. And this magnificent piece of numismatic history was created during one of the most significant years in human history. The year 1945 was absolutely pivotal for America and the world. World War II finally came to an end with the surrender of Germany in May and Japan in August. The atomic age began with the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Franklin D. Roosevelt died in office and Harry S. Truman became president. The United Nations was founded, and the entire world began the transition from the deadliest war in human history to an uncertain peace. And through it all, the U.S. Mint continued its essential work of producing coins for a nation that desperately needed them. In 1945, The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion wheat pennies. The Denver Mint added another 266 million, and the San Francisco Mint contributed 181 million. So we're looking at nearly 1.5 billion coins produced that year, and yet somewhere among those 1.5 billion pennies is the coin worth $75 million, the holy grail of wheat penny collecting. What could possibly make a 1945 wheat penny worth such an absolutely staggering amount? We're talking about a perfect storm of the rarest circumstances imaginable. First, and most importantly, this would have to be a coin with an absolutely extraordinary error. We're not talking about a minor double die that you need magnification to see. We're talking about something so dramatic, so obvious, so unique that it's instantly recognizable as a major minting mistake. Perhaps the most significant error ever recorded on any Lincoln cent. Imagine a 1945 wheat penny where the dies were so badly misaligned that the entire design is dramatically off-center, or a coin where a previous design was still partially visible underneath the wheat penny design, creating a mysterious double image, or possibly a coin struck on a completely wrong planchet, maybe a silver dime planchet, or even a foreign coin planchet that somehow got mixed into the production process. But the error alone isn't enough to command $75 million. This coin would also need to be in virtually perfect condition, maintaining its original mint luster, showing no signs of circulation wear, no scratches, no spots, no discoloration, essentially frozen in time exactly as it appeared on the day it was struck 80 years ago. The combination of an extraordinary error, plus museum quality preservation, plus the historical significance of the 1945 date, creates a trifecta of desirability that drives value into the stratosphere. Now let's talk about the actual market for coins at this level of value, because when we're discussing $75 million, we're talking about a very exclusive circle of collectors. We're talking about billionaires who view rare coins as the ultimate investment, combining passion with financial strategy. These are individuals who understand that truly rare coins appreciate in value over time, who recognize that you can't create more 1945 wheat pennies, so the supply is forever fixed while demand continues to grow. These elite collectors often compete at major auctions where a single coin can generate bidding wars that last for minutes, where each bid increases by hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, where the tension in the room is absolutely electric as two or more serious buyers battle for ownership of a legendary coin. The auction houses that handle these sales, companies like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions, treat these events like major theatrical productions because that's exactly what they are. They're moments when history changes hands. When a coin that's been in one collection for decades moves to a new owner, creating a new chapter in its provenance. And here's something absolutely critical to understand. The value of a coin like this $75 million 1945 wheat penny isn't arbitrary. It's not just made up, it's based on what collectors have actually paid for similar coins. It's based on market trends showing consistent appreciation for top-quality rare coins. And it's based on the simple economic principle of supply and demand. When you have something that literally one person owns, or maybe a handful of people own, and you have dozens or hundreds of wealthy collectors who want it, the price will rise to extraordinary levels. The 1945 wheat penny also carries a special significance because of its connection to the end of World War II. Coins from this year are essentially pieces of victory. They represent the moment when America emerged from the war as a global superpower, when soldiers returned home to start families and build the prosperous post-war America, when a nation began to transition its massive industrial might from military production back to consumer goods. There's something deeply moving about holding a coin from 1945 and thinking about the sacrifices made by the greatest generation, thinking about the millions of Americans who served in uniform, Thinking about the home front workers who built the planes and ships and weapons that won the war, this penny connects us directly to that monumental time in history. For serious collectors, owning a piece like a record-setting 1945 wheat penny isn't just about having something valuable. It's about being a steward of history, preserving an important artifact for future generations, and maintaining a physical connection to America's past. These collectors often donate their coins to museums eventually, where they make arrangements to ensure the coins are preserved and shared with the public after their death, because they understand that coins of this magnitude transcend personal ownership. They belong to history itself. Now, I want to address something important. The chances of you finding a $75 million 1945 wheat penny are admittedly very small. Coins at this level of rarity and value are usually already known to the numismatic community. They're in established collections. They have documented histories. But here's the exciting truth. Valuable coins are still being discovered regularly. Maybe not $75 million specimens, but coins worth thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars are found in old collections, estate sales, and yes, occasionally even in pocket change. Just recently, there was a story about someone finding a rare wheat penny worth over $100,000 in a jar of coins inherited from a relative. Another story about a valuable error coin discovered in a roll from a bank. These discoveries happen more often than you might think because billions of wheat pennies were produced. And while most are worth just a few cents, there are exceptional specimens scattered throughout the country, sitting in drawers, buried in coin jars, forgotten in safe deposit boxes, waiting patiently to be recognized. So what should you do right now? After watching this video and learning about these four incredible wheat pennies worth a combined $206 million. First, go through every single coin you own. Look at every wheat penny carefully. Check for those mint marks. Examine the details under magnification if possible. Look for anything unusual, any doubling, any errors, any exceptional condition. Second, ask family members if they have old coins tucked away, especially grandparents or elderly relatives who might have saved wheat pennies from their youth. Third, educate yourself further. There are wonderful books and websites dedicated to coin collecting. Learn the specific errors to look for. Study pictures of valuable varieties. Understand what makes coins valuable. Fourth, consider starting to collect wheat pennies yourself. You can buy common date rolls relatively cheaply and search through them for varieties and errors. It's an exciting hobby that combines history, artistry, and treasure hunting. And fifth, remember that coin collecting should be fun. Yes, there's the potential for discovering valuable coins, but even if you never find a $1 million penny, you're still connecting with history, building a collection of beautiful artifacts, and participating in a hobby that's been enjoyed by people for centuries. The 1945 wheat penny worth $75 million represents the absolute pinnacle of Lincoln cent collecting. It's the coin that every serious collector dreams about, the ultimate treasure that validates decades of searching and studying. And while finding one might be a long shot, the possibility exists, and that possibility is what makes coin collecting so eternally exciting. We've now completed our journey through four extraordinary wheat pennies. The $30 million 1958 D that started our adventure. The $48 million 1952 D that raised the stakes. The $53 million 1951 that pushed values even higher. And finally, this magnificent $75 million 1945 wheat penny that stands alone at the very top of wheat penny values. Each of these coins tells a story about American history, about the mint production process, about the passionate collectors who seek them, and about the amazing reality that genuine treasures still exist in our modern world. These aren't just coins, they're time capsules. They're physical connections to decades past. They're reminders that the past is never truly gone as long as we preserve and value its artifacts. So the next time you receive a penny and change, take a second to look at it, check the date, examine the details, because you never know, you just might be holding something extraordinary, something that could change your life forever. The world of rare coins is filled with amazing stories of discovery, perseverance, and life-changing fortune. And your story could be next. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through the most valuable wheat pennies in existence. I hope you've learned something amazing. I hope you're inspired to look at your coins more carefully. And most importantly, I hope you never look at a simple penny the same way again. Remember, fortune favors the observant. Wealth can hide in the most ordinary places. And sometimes, just sometimes, that pocket change is worth far more than its face value. Now go out there and start a treasure hunt. You might just be the next person to discover a coin worth millions.